We bring the shots from way outside and give you all those slam dunks. The throw to the plate is right on the mark, and watch as she tears up the defense like a hot knife through butter. We bring you all the results. Sports Night is next.
For Sportsnight, I'm Joe Young.
A hot knife through butter. I'm Howie Shapiro, by the way, in case nobody doesn't know.
It was a cliche that just it
had to be there. It just had to be.
We are flying through the spring season like a hot knife through butter.
We are.
It's tournament time for some teams already on this show, and others entering tournament time this week. And before you know it, we'll be wrapping things up.
I know it'll be summer vacation, and then what are we going to do? We'll go to the beach.
Yeah, baseball team will get into section play this week, but a lot of stuff to get through in their final week of the regular season. It started on Wednesday, on Tuesday of last week, a visit from Armstrong. They lose to the Falcons 5-3. Tyler Wojciechowski 4 for 4 with 2 doubles and a triple in this one, but just not enough on the offensive end. Connor Boone gets the loss on the mound, goes the distance, gives up just 5 runs, 4 earned, 8 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Cardinals fall to 10-6. On Wednesday, they played Centennial at Centennial. They lose to the Cougars 8-3. Danny Matthews had a tough time in the start. Started and gave up 8 hits, 5 runs, 8 runs, 5 earned on 4 hits, 2 walks. That's all in 2/3 of an inning to start the game. That's tough to recover from.
Absolutely.
You're down in a hole like that, and they end up losing 8-3. The Cardinals baseball team closed the regular season out with a weekend full of games against great non-conference teams. First up, a Friday night affair. Cardinals hosting Eastview Lightning over at Wintercrest. Lightning at 12-5, sitting in second place in the South Suburban, looking to continue a 6-game win streak. The Lightning flashed to the lead in the top of the first. Big double to the gap in left center. And that will easily score 2. Eastview put 4 on the board before the Cardinals ever got to the plate. Coon Rapids trying to chip away at the lead in the second. Jordan Little trying to sacrifice himself, play a little small ball. Throw is wild. Little is safe on the error. Matt Essler will hustle home with Cardinals' first run. Third inning now. Essler at the plate. Singles to right center. Center fielder is going to overrun it a little bit. Makes it easy for Avery Lehman to score from second. Coon Rapids is back within 2. That doesn't last long, though. Lightning strike for 4 runs again in the fourth. Alexander Lindstrom with this drive to center that gets behind Crawford in center field. Ryan Pfeiffer and Riley Johnson score. Eastview runs away with this one. 11-4 is the final on Friday night.
And, again, a tough non-conference game. Cardinals, got behind early, and it was tough for them to come back. But, they've, as we'll see in a little bit, able to make a little bit of a comeback.
They did bounce back. They played New Prague on Saturday and beat up on them 7-1. Matt Essler 3 for 3, an RBI, 2 runs scored. Justin Reeves 1 for 3 with an RBI and a couple of runs scored. Zimbeck also had an RBI, as did Butler. Wojciechowski 1 for 3 with a walk and a run. And then this one was impressive. Matabina was 17-2 coming into this game, sitting atop their conference. And the Cardinals handled them relatively easily. Dan Matthews, perfect 1 for 1 with an RBI and a run scored. It's a nice day at the ballpark.
Yep.
Jordan Little, 2 for 3, drove 1 in, scored 1. Dumovic, 1 for 3, scored twice. Kutsky got the win. 4 innings of shutout ball. He threw just 2 hits and 5 strikeouts in that affair. And now they move on to the tournament.
They do coming up next couple of days.
Because of the struggles they had, especially early in the year, getting the bats going. The Cardinals find themselves in a play-in game. And of course, only 4 teams get byes in the 12-team tournament. But the Cardinals with a tough one against Irondale, the number 6 seed against the number 11. They're definitely favored in that one. Totino awaits on Friday.
Well, and you want to win that first game because then you get into the double elimination portion of the tournament, and you lose your first round, your season is done. So the Cardinals want to get past Irondale and see what they can do the rest of the way in the section.
Mounds View, the number 1 seed, Maple Grove, the number 2. Totino, Grace, and Centennial also getting buys in the section tournament into that double elimination round. We hope to pick up the Cardinals in action on Monday.
Yeah, let's hope they get past Irondale. They played Totino earlier in their season. They lost 5-4, but they did have that lead. I believe they ended up losing that game late in the contest. So an opportunity if they can get by Irondale and they can play some good baseball against Totino, they are set up pretty well.
Well, throw the records out of the
gone. They're gone.
Anything can happen in the section tournament, and we definitely have seen it. Softball section tournament actually started this afternoon. It was supposed to start on Monday. CTN crew was there, but it was a little bit too cold to play ball yesterday afternoon.
It was.
They played this afternoon. Before that, though, the Cardinals wrapping up the regular season with a 1-0 loss at the hands of Centennial. The Cougars' only run is unearned. Sam Anderson gave up just 4 hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. But the Cardinals had just 4 hits in the game. Anderson had 2 of them. Hanson and Gregg got the other 2, and the Cardinals couldn't push one across. They lose a heartbreaker.
They did. Well, as you mentioned, the Section 5 AAA softball tournament started today with the 9th-seeded Cardinals crossing the river to face number 8 Champlain Park. The Rebels had a slightly better record, so they got the home field advantage. But the Cardinals knew they were a team that they can beat. In their only game this year, Champlain slipped away with a 2-1 victory. Cardinals were looking for some revenge when the game really meant something. It's single elimination, so a must-win game at Champlain Tuesday afternoon, and Sam Anderson was definitely ready. She blows the fast ball by the Rebels' Randy Rogers in the first. Her team got her lead, and she sat on it. Second inning, she fanned Samantha Proctor to keep Champlain scoreless. Anderson helping her own cause in the 5th. A line drive double to the gap will score Whitney Gregg and Mackenzie Wilkins to give the Cardinals a 6-0 lead. Nice to always pad your stats. Going back to the mound, her battery mate helps her out as well. Catcher Julia Byrne coming up here. She's going to single down the first baseline. She's going to score Hanson coming in from third. That's more than enough for Hanson. But for Anderson, she gives up 1 run with 7 strikeouts. And the Cardinals win by a score of 7-1. Nice win, even though, 8 and 9 seed, they go on the road and they get that first win, stay alive in that tournament as well. That is also double elimination.
Yeah, and well, now it is.
Yeah, now.
And they get into that double elimination round. Of course, that means as the 8 and 9, that means they go on to face number 1 Maple Grove in the first round of double elimination play. That's coming up on Wednesday. Definitely a difficult chore, but again, anything can happen when you get to tournament play. There you see the others that had the buys. Rogers, the number 2 seed. Spring Lake Park, the number 3. Park Center, the number 4 seed. And all it takes is a hot pitcher and some timely hits. And that's what the Cardinals have been missing. They've had the hot pitching pretty much all season long. Just need to get the offense just a little bit, and they can get some wins.
Well, they will most likely face Sydney Smith, and I'm sure that's who they'll face. And we saw them early in the season. She's dominating. So the Cardinals definitely need to get their bats going on Wednesday.
She had 11
strikeouts, I think, something like that.
We saw Anderson throw 14. So best of luck to them, and we'll definitely have more highlights of them going forward. Tennis team actually getting ready for the individual section tournament this week. They wrapped up the regular season last week with a loss to highly ranked Elk River 6-0 with 1 match not finishing. And then on Tuesday, they got a victory over new conference rival Totino Grace 5-2. Bobby Yang a 3-set victory, 6-3, 4-6, 6-3 at first singles. Drew Grimmer won at 4th singles, and the Cardinals sweep in doubles to get the 5-2 victory. That Cardinals that put the Cardinals into tournament time.
It did. Absolutely.
Well, the Cardinals started tournament play on Wednesday of last week. The number 8 seed hosting number 9 Champlain Park. A lot of number 8 and 9 things going on around here. Cardinals had beaten the Rebels 5-2 in their regular season meeting just 8 days earlier, and they were looking for a repeat when they took the courts on Wednesday. There was no reason to believe there would be any other result. This is Cardinal country, and they were going to command respect on the pivot courts. Bobby Yang taking care of business at first singles. Takes this one to the net. He was overpowering on his way to a 6-0, 6-3 victory. Co-captain Aaron Bauer on the second singles court. It takes 3 sets, but he gets a win for the team as well. 6-2, 4-6, and then 2-6, the final for Bauer at second singles. Stephen Yang in the far court for the Cardinals at third singles. Great ground strokes from the baseline on this point. Yang loses by that same score, 2-6, 6-4, 2-6. Drew Grimmer makes it 3 out of 4 wins at singles for the Cardinals. Great job charging the net for the spike on this point. Grimmer gets done quickly, 6-1, 6-2, the winner at fourth singles. Bai and Sky holding court at first doubles. They took the first set 6-4, but lose in a heartbreaker in 3, 1-6, 5-7. Jared Musolf and Matt Yang playing second doubles for the Cardinals. Yang with a great lob to the back line for the point. Cardinals win 6-2, 4-6, 6-3. And finally, it's Alex Fish and Nate Murphy working at third doubles. Strong play at the net for the point. Fish and Murphy win 6-3, 6-1. Cardinals once again prevail over the Rebels 5-2.
Yeah, nice win for the tennis squad to advance to the next round.
The hard thing is that means they run into the number 1 seed, and it's not a double elimination tournament in tennis. Boys and girls, it's one and you're done, and when you run into Mounds View, you're done.
They're good.
Cardinals won a total of 3 games in that. There was a 6-2, 6-0 win, and there was a 6-1, 6-0 win. Other than that, it was 6-0, 6-0, 6-0, 6-0, 6-0, 6-0, 6-0.
I sense a pattern.
There's a lot of 6-0s going. A lot of 6-love. Mounds View pretty good. They did go on to win the championship as we flashed up that graphic there. Not a huge surprise. Their factory are the Mustangs when it comes to tennis. The individual tournaments will start on Friday of this week, both singles and doubles. We'll have some results, maybe some video of that for you next week on Sports Night. Track teams have the Northwest Suburban Conference Championship Finals coming up at Coon Rapids High School on Thursday of this week. Girls prelims were held on Monday. I think it was at Irondale. Tuesday's boys prelims were held at Coon Rapids, and then we'll have results and video of the finals coming up on Thursday next week at Sports Night. Boys golf team finished up the regular season with 2 Northwest Suburban Conference matches. They finished 13th in both. On Tuesday of last week, they were at Majestic Oaks, shot a .354. Travis Hess leading the way with an 82, 39 on the front. It was a nice score, 43 on the back. Blockfelder is the next one in with an 89, Elson a 90, Novinska 93, Halseth and Getz both 99s on the day. On Thursday, same score, same result. Travis Hess betters his score down to 83, but everyone else, Elson's score is nice at 84. Blockfelder a 92, Getz and Novinska 95s. And that leaves the Cardinals in 15th place. The Northwest Suburban Conference Tournament will be Thursday at the Bunker Hills. And then the section tournament is next Wednesday and Thursday for the boys golf team. Girls golf team, similar story, but they get a win. They got a win. Of course, the girls, they play head-to-head. They went head-to-head with Anoka and through 4 scores. Both teams tied at 24, so they go to the 5th score to determine the winner. And Megan Buckley, 59, gave them the victory. How about those top 4 scores, though? 56, 56, 56, 56. That's steady scoring right there.
That's competitive right there with each other.
So they were supposed to wrap up the regular season on Monday. Originally it was supposed to be on Thursday, and then they postponed it to Monday, and it was really cold. I don't know if they played. I tried to get a hold of Coach Keeney. I didn't hear back. So they have the Northwest Suburban Conference Tournament on Friday. Yep. We'll have results for you next week.
Weather will be nice.
Sports Night.
Yeah, so they'll get that in weather. Thursday, Friday, going to be some nice weather.
Fantastic.
It should be fun. Should be fun. Get it in. Well, you never know this time of year because Mother Nature may not cooperate and be on your side.
You're very true.
You're getting the stamp right here from CTN meteorologist.
Howie Shapiro.
I was on the roof for a day and a half, made sure all the numbers were correct, and they're playing out.
We're good.
Yep, we're good.
Okay.
Well, the boys lacrosse team had just one game remaining in the regular season. Wednesday, they traveled to Blaine. Last Wednesday, they were at home facing the Armstrong Falcons. After starting the season with 6 straight wins, the Falcons were trying to a little bit of a break, a little skid of their own. They were looking at this game as a way to get back on track. Falcons came out flying on the wings of Joe Purfell. He scores the first 3 goals of the game and gets Armstrong a comfortable cushion to start. Now, the Cardinals aren't going to panic. They cash in on an opportunity. Good movement behind the net to find Alex Brovic with a shooting lane from the side. He bounces it home and gets Coon Rapids on the board. Another good possession in the second. Move the rock to find the open man. Again, it's Brovic. Great fake to the back, to the net shot, the back of the net. Cards trail now 4-2. We're going to move to the second half. Armstrong in front 8-2. Goalie gets maybe a little too confident with that. Way out of the net, and his pass is picked off by Nick Roloff, and there's no chance of getting that one back. That was the one bright spot for the second half, and for the Cardinals, Armstrong's going to take control, and they're going to come away with a 9-3 win.
I love the reaction of the goalie afterwards.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I knew.
Why did I do that?
Did I do that?
Oh, dang it. And
You think that's what he's saying? Dang it. Probably.
Or something similar.
Oh, yeah, or oops.
Oops.
Or oh my gosh, something like that.
Darn it.
Yeah, darn it.
Well, the Cardinals started their final week of the regular season traveling to one of the coolest stadiums in the area. Of course, that also meant facing one of the tougher teams in the conference. Goodrich Field in Anoka certainly has a mystique to it and a lot of history and a lot of great stories. But playing there means you have to face the Tornadoes, a team near the top of the standings trying to finish its season by making a statement. They come out hungry and they feast on the Cardinals' oppressive forecheck pays off. Dominic Cerisi, the interception, walks out front, scores Anoka on top 7-0 at that point. Cerisi with it again, being patient, then finds Riley Baumgartner in the slot for the shot. It's Anoka by 8 at the half. Second half, it's more of the same. Cerisi feeding Oli Nye this time, and he scores.
You betcha.
Oli. Anoka just having their way with Cardinals. Cerisi again, a little wraparound goal right here. Tornadoes blow past the Cardinals 14-0.
Yeah, that was a tough one for Coon Rapids. They weren't in that game. They got behind early and often, and give credit to the Tornadoes. They were able to pour it on and control it and get the shutout.
And now the Cardinals go to Blaine. The Bengals, one of the top teams in the conference, a team that they've struggled mightily against. And a team, again, as you get to this point in the season, a team like the Cardinals just looking for anything positive they can get going into the postseason. And for a team like Blaine, trying to make sure they're a well-oiled machine. And they will not let those weaker teams sneak up on them in the postseason. And I don't think it's going to be pretty on Wednesday night.
They're going to have to play their best lacrosse of the season if they're going to have a chance against the Bengals because, as you mentioned, they are good.
Then they'll have a week off. Section 7 quarterfinals will be next Wednesday, and we'll have those matchups for you next week on Sportsnight. Girls lacrosse team, a completely different story. They are the shining star of the spring season, to be certain, for the Coon Rapids athletics program. They get another one, a tight win. And we talked about it last week on Sportsnet, how big these next couple games were, because Armstrong was right behind them in the conference, just 2 games back in third place behind they and Champlain Park, who were tied. But we'll get to that.
I'm waiting.
The Cardinals beat Armstrong to maintain that distance with a 10-9 victory. Bailey Ryan had 3 goals, 2 assists. Heidi Hanula, 2 goals, 2 assists. Helen Nelson, 3 goals. Allie Misquick had a couple of helpers. Now, that same night, what happens? The Blaine Bengals trip up the Champlain Park Rebels.
But played right into Coon Rapids' hands.
And all of a sudden, the Cardinals were in first place all by themselves.
All alone atop the standings, which is a great place to be.
It is a great place to be.
Well, Friday's matchup with those Champlain Park Rebels was originally supposed to be the season opener, but was so much more fitting to this rivalry to play out deeper into the schedule. The postponement turned into a match that could determine the conference championship. The Rebels had just lost to Blaine, so the Cardinals would all but clinch the crown if they could get the victory. Career points record holder Sammy DeJoy on the sidelines for the matchup. Cardinals able to start the scoring early. Hanula with a feed to Bailey Ryan in close. She scores to get the Coon Rapids Cardinals on the board first. Tight seesaw battle early. Rebels respond. Cardinals answer. Kayla Ross finishing on the great feed from Lily Hackett to keep Coon Rapids in front, 2-1. Rebels offense flows mostly through number 7. Sam Nolan had 6 goals. That's right, 6 goals in the game. This one tied it at 3. The rest of the half really belonged to the Cardinals. Bailey Ryan again finishing in close. That was the third of her 4 goals in the game. Then it's Hanula with a great steal. Watch this one in the offensive end. She'll finish this one herself. She was kept relatively quiet up against the Rebels, but her team was up 6-3. More Cardinal offense coming up here. Helen Nelson leading the rush, draws the defense to get it to Hackett. Nice move to her left to score on the low backhand. Coon Rapids with a commanding 9-4 lead at the half. Move to the second, it's Hackett again, almost making this one look too easy. She leads the Cardinals with 4 goals and assists. Cardinals hold on for a huge 11-9 win and keep things moving forward.
A hot knife through butter.
Absolutely, couldn't get any hotter.
And that was huge. Champlain Park has knocked the Cardinals out of the section tournament the last couple years in a row. They've also finished just ahead of them in the conference standings the last couple of years. So there's a good rivalry building there. And the Armstrong Falcons, actually, the last few years have had at least a piece of the conference title as well. So those are 2 big, ginormous wins for the Cardinals to end last week.
Without a doubt.
Well, the Cardinals came into this week knowing they needed one more win to clinch sole possession of that conference crown. On Monday, the Anoka Tornadoes came to town hoping to play spoiler. They were playing pretty well, winners of 3 of their previous 4 and wanting to end the Cardinals' undefeated run in league play. Early on, it's the Tornadoes setting the pace on the scoreboard. Haley Miller able to split a couple of defenders and score to give Anoka the early 3-1 lead. But the Cardinals able to regain composure and start to play their game. Great feed to Bailey Ryan in close for the goal. It's tied 4-4 at the half. Coon Rapids coming out fast in the second. Little wraparound try is stopped right there. But Jordan Keller is able to sweep the rebound past the keeper and give the Cardinals the 1-goal lead. They're going to build on it. Good pressure to win the ball. And then look at Keller all alone. Hello! Out in front of the net. They get her the ball, and she scores again. That put the Cardinals up 6-4. They didn't control the game the way they would have liked, but they would possess much better in the second half. Helen Nelson scoring in a bunch out front. Coon Rapids holds on for the 10-7 victory.
By the way, that impersonation, nothing like her. nothing like her.
Nothing. That's not how she was called.
No,
but
hello.
She's got the little miss.
But I like the effort. I like
Mrs.
the effort.
Doubtfire.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm behind the defense. All alone
Give
back
it to
here.
me.
Similar to what?
Off the rails.
Yeah.
Let's get back on track.
She may have been saying something similar.
Yeah, well, very well. It's like, hi.
Hi. Hola.
Here I am.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Probably not. Probably not. So the Cardinals, Blaine Bengals do have a chance to beat the Cardinals and keep them from finishing undefeated in the conference this season. However, that win did clinch the sole possession of first place of the Cardinals, conference champions. Congratulations to the girls lacrosse team.
If I had a hat, I'd tip it.
Woo-hoo! It's all about sound effects.
Although, you know, Coach DeJoy sends us a letter after every game.
Sure.
Even though they won against Inoki, was not happy with the play of the girls. You know, maybe that's a good thing. Even though they got the win, you know, needs to tighten things up. Blaine's pretty good. They come in with an 8-3 record, so you know they're certainly not a pushover.
No, they can't, and they can't let their guard down. They want to finish with that undefeated mark in the conference to be certain. But then they need to really play well in the section.
Absolutely.
So many times now they've been so close, like 4 or 5 years in a row. They've been to the section championship and have yet to make a state tournament. Is this the year?
Let's hope so. Fingers crossed.
Fingers are crossed.
Absolutely.
All right. We get a chance to see the girls lacrosse team coming up on Wednesday in that game against the Blaine Bengals. We will be there, Howie Shapiro. Premiere here at midnight, and then we will see some baseball playoffs on Monday down at Wintercrest Park. Hoping it's a winner's bracket game, but that is to be determined. And we will continue to follow the baseball team as far as they should go in those double elimination playoffs. But that's going to do it for this edition of Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including the amazing Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying goodnight.